Good morning, South High School. This is Mr. Formolo coming to you on this very cold day outside. Thank you for all the students who have been managing their time wisely before school and getting here on time. For those of you that have been struggling with that, please know that the roads are slippery, the sidewalks are slippery, and it's important for you to set your alarm clock maybe a few minutes early and get out the door a little bit earlier than in the past so that you can get here to school on time. Please be reminded that your efforts and commitment with getting here on time are supportive of your classroom environment. When you walk into a class late, you may not know it, but it does interrupt the flow of instruction. So please do your best to make sure that you're getting to school on time and supporting your peers and teachers with creating great educational opportunities. I wanted to highlight with you our schedule for Wednesday the 13th, which is tomorrow. Just that the question that's come up is attendance required? Yes, attendance is required for all students, whether or not you have conflicts or not. This is a great opportunity for you to get caught up with studying for your final exams, working on papers or projects that you need to get done if you don't have a conflict. So please know that attendance is required. The day will start out with all students in homeroom, in which I will do a recap of some of the stuff I'm talking about today, going into a little bit more detail with the schedule and about what you need to do in conflict resolution. At 8:30, freshmen and sophomores will report to the Red Wing Gym for conflict resolution if you have conflicts. And then the remaining freshmen and sophomores who do not have conflicts, you may go to the Commons. You can go to the Library Literacy Center to study, and or we will have open gyms available as well. Juniors and seniors, all juniors and seniors will report to the auditorium for an AT&T It Can Wait presentation and simulator on the dangers of distracted driving. I find this to be very important, especially during this time of year where the roads are already bad. Just having a clear picture of what our behavior is in our vehicles and how it impacts ourselves or others is important for us to do. And then we will switch at 9:45. Juniors and seniors go to conflict resolution. Freshmen and sophomores go to the AT&T presentation. At 10:45, we will have an all-school lunch. And from 11:30 to 11:45, we will report back to homeroom, in which we will take attendance a second time and hand out your Red Wing Way Rewards Day schedule and your activity passes so that you know where you are to go and where you are to attend. And then from 11:45 through the end of the day, it's our time to celebrate as a school, the things that we've been accomplishing in terms of FlexMod and the Red Wing Way and our behaviors. It's been a great semester. Let's celebrate what we've accomplished and prepare and renew for what we have ahead of us for second semester. In terms of conflict resolution, in the homeroom tomorrow morning, every student will get a copy of their schedule and a conflict resolution letter. And just keep in mind that when you have those two documents and you're looking at them, or if you're looking online, just that reminder that if you have a one-mod conflict for a class for the week, there's no resolution that's needed. This is managed by you. But you still need to communicate with your teachers, or your teachers may communicate with you about their expectations on a daily basis regarding what you might need to do. If a test or a quiz is coming up, they might say, hey, can you really be here tomorrow if it works out, so that you're not missing a part of that quiz or test or having to make it up in resource. So very similar to what we had done this semester in terms of that communication. And we do know from first semester and going into second semester that we do have an expectation for students to complete peaceful conflict resolution for any course that has two mods or more for a week of conflict for any one class. And we'll go into some detail with this, but just to keep in mind that you are to be thinking about what can you do to manage that conflict with your teachers, have that conversation with your parents, so that when you get into conflict resolution tomorrow, you have kind of a plan of attack as to how you're going to get your schedule worked out. Conflict resolution is really helpful for many pieces. One, we need to know where you need to be to help you manage the courses for which you choose to take or are required to take. And doing that, knowing where you are to be can help alleviate your attendance, where we might change your schedule a little bit to reflect your conflicts, and it allows your teachers to know when you should be coming or leaving class. The conflict letter will look similar to this. Now this is a screenshot of a student's conflict. You will see that this student has multiple things that are kind of listed there. One thing to keep in mind is that everything is you really want to focus on everything on the left column. That's going to show you the specific classes once, and your classes will repeat on the second side. We have to show a class twice. So, for example, Advanced Algebra has a conflict, a two-mod conflict. Advanced Algebra has a two-mod conflict with AP Gov. And by looking at the mod sequence, we know it's on Tuesday, and this could be mod 18 and mod 19 because that's where the mod 19 and mod 20 because that's where the overlap is going to be. This conflict, though, is listed again right here. Okay? So you will see things that are going to be listed twice, only because it needs to happen that way in order for it to show an inverse. So you're really focusing on getting your signatures here in this left column. So if you're working out the conflict between Advanced Algebra and AP Gov, Mr. Safford would sign here, Mrs. Georgia would sign here. So don't pay too much attention to the signatures that are required over here on this side. It's simply because we have to list everything twice in order to get all the teachers on the left and to really show the inverse of how that conflict plays out. We'll go into this a little bit more detail when you have this in front of you tomorrow, and you can start looking at where you need to get your signatures and have some time to ask your homeroom teachers questions before going down to conflict resolution about what your conflict letter is telling you. In general, I look forward to tomorrow, and I know while it might be frustrating to have to work through this process, with FlexMod, we know that the way we are scheduling our classes for various instructional purposes, it's also an opportunity for students to be able to take courses that are more aligned with what they want to do after high school. I know that we have some expectations for you to take on a little bit more and to do a little bit more on your own in the privileged system with the academic learning time that we have in place. But this is much better than it had been in the past, where you weren't able to do some hybrid scheduling with getting 2 courses in your schedule. You had to make a choice. And with the FlexMod, we're not forcing you to do that, and we do that by allowing you to resolve your conflicts. So we will need to talk to one another, students with teachers, teachers with teachers. We will need to listen to one another and hopefully reach a positive, peaceful conflict resolution. And in doing that, I hope that as we move forward with future semesters, one of the goals is always to reduce our conflicts as we do the master schedule. So I thank all of you for your patience and your commitment and effort to South High School and the FlexMod schedule. I know that it's going to get better as we move forward. So continue to do your part as students. Continue to support your teachers as they are navigating through a new schedule themselves and feeling like first-year teachers all in itself. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow during conflict resolution.